All right, so we're going to be taking a look at inductive and deductive reasoning, and there's two different types. And our first lesson is just going to be on inductive reasoning and what it represents and how we can kind of see what it is. And then our second lesson, we're going to take a look at deductive reasoning as to how do we solve things deductively. Now, both of them are reasoning. We use both of these pretty much every day, mostly inductive, but deductive is used on a regular basis to confirm or deny if something is going to be happening. So we're going to take a look at inductive reasoning. We're going to start with a little example here. So once upon a time, and now this is many, many years ago, very true story actually, I carpooled to work with two other coworkers. So this is kind of what we did every day. We would meet at a meeting spot, and each of the past 3 Thursdays, one of the coworkers has showed up to the meeting spot late. So today is Thursday. What do you think will happen? Well, if you look at it, we see a pattern forming, and we're going to assume that the coworker will show up late. Okay? That's what we assume is going to happen. Now, it's based on a pattern that we're seeing. We've seen now 3 Thursdays in a row. Okay, this coworker has shown up late, and so we're going to assume that today, being Thursday, he's going to show up late again. Well, there's conclusions that we can draw based on this pattern. And now different patterns have different conclusions that we see, but the conclusion that we're going to see here, not necessarily a certain conclusion, but there's many different conclusions based on this conjecture that we are coming up with. So our conjecture is that coworker's going to show up late. The conclusion that we're going to come up with is that he slept in. Okay, maybe. Or he needs to drop off his kids on Thursday. Who knows? Okay, there's another option. Okay, there's a whole bunch of different reasons why he may be late every single Thursday. Okay, now, depending on what is happening, some of these may be true, they may not be. We have no idea. He may have slept in. He may have had a reason to sleep in on Thursdays. Okay, we have, honestly, if we don't dive into a question more deeply, this is all that we can speculate. But we can come up with a conclusion and a conjecture based on that. Now, inductive reasoning involves coming up with a general conclusion. Okay? And the words that we use, I'm going to come up with a little more specific words here very quickly. Okay? Okay? So it involves drawing a general conclusion using an observed pattern. And now you do this every single day, okay, probably without even thinking about it, but you come up with a conclusion based on a pattern that you are seeing. And we're going to use a slightly more, we'll call it mathematical word here for conclusion. We're going to call it a conjecture. Okay, we're going to call it a conjecture. And that's what we're going to, that's the conclusion, that's the hypothesis or the value that we're going to take out of the pattern that we see. Another way that we can say exactly this here is that we're gathering evidence to extend a pattern. Okay? So if I gather evidence that a certain student seems to show up late every single day, I'm going to base, as a pattern, I'm going to assume that each day they're going to show up late. That's what we're going to assume. Now, I don't have to have an idea as to why they show up late, but I'm going to assume that because it's a pattern that's happening, it's going to keep on happening on a regular basis. Okay? One of these things that we might want to take a look at is every single morning that I've seen, the sun has come up. Well, based on that pattern, I'm going to assume that tomorrow the sun is going to come up again. It's a pattern that we're following, and I'm going to make a conjecture based on that.